Well, Michael came up with something that's just amazing. He's on fire with it right now. And he sure got me excited because y'all know I love dates and numbers and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of where that's my wheelhouse. And the Holy Spirit gave this to Michael, and it's just amazing. He figured out that when you take lunar eclipses, that doesn't need to be total, just anytime the word eclipse is invoked, lunar or solar, penumbral, annular, or total, and either add 222 days, that's Eve coding, I will tell you, the 222. Because Eve was responsible for, eating the fruit, then which Adam then partook. Eve was first, though. So they love Eve. There's a movie called All About Eve in Hollywood, tremendously jam-packed. Betty Davis, all of them. There's a bunch. That was just one of their biggest movies of all time, All About Eve. Just like they did a Hollywood movie called East of Eden, because that's what the Bible speaks of. I think that's where Adam and Eve departed, was east of Eden, or that's where the tree of life was, or something. I don't know, but east had something to do with the Garden of Eden. East in the Garden of Eden, Bible verse. Now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east, in Eden. And there he put man, had formed. So what is east of the Garden of Eden? Cherubim were placed east of the garden, and a flaming sword which turned every way to guard the way of the tree of life. So 4 rivers in this, movie, East of Eden. I mean, this is what Hollywood does. I can sure go off on a way off in the wrong direction. Let's stay focused, please. All right. So I don't even know where all that came from. So let's go back to what I was telling you about Michael learning, 222 coding for Eve. Everything's about Eve. So many people will tell you what 222 coding is, let it come in one ear and out the other. It's about Eve being formed from Genesis chapter 2, verse 22, the rib from Adam that formed Eve. The other coding is 666 coding and 888 coding. He says when you add these numbers, 222, 666, or 888 to any type of lunar or any type of eclipse, that events take place on those days. I would even look at 555 coding. We'll go ahead and take it that step further. We'll go 777 coding. They love the 777. They love, you might as well go 999, which is 666 upside down. They code that. Why wouldn't they code 333? Well, sure they would. We know 111 is code through the portal. It lands on May Day. And we're going to take it. I played for Teamsters 444. Used to be in Haines City back when they sponsored my little league. Teamsters 444, Polk County. See, now they're out in Orlando. Teamsters local 444, so remember in Polk County. And Teamsters 444. And if you do it without saying Polk
Teamsters
County,
around Orlando, sure.
If you do it without saying Polk County, it says Teamsters 444, local union retirees in Haines City, Florida, something International Brotherhood. So they sponsored, I've got pictures of me in a Teamsters full. So let's just do them all. We're going to have to go with, and we're going to have to do it on the spreadsheet. Now, Michael's got some emails that he's made for us just to show us, he's going to give us the why, but we're going to roll with it. 111, 222, 333, 444, 555. You know how they do phone numbers in movies, 555, right? We're going to do 666. We're going to do 777. We're going to do 888. We're going to do 999. Because, you know, 37 is the 12th prime number, 12th number for the church. We went 37 through the portal, plus another 37. It landed on the gateway arch in both directions, which we've shown you many times. It landed on October 28th, second wife's birthday. So you go up another plus 37, you get your 111 coding, which lands on May Day. And Michael's already found connections to May Day through this eclipse scenario. And May Day is, you know, that's when apparently the Communist Party began. It's apparently when the Illuminati began. May 1st, Communist Party anniversary. May 1st, Illuminati anniversary. I paused. May 1st, Illuminati anniversary, Eric Weishaupt. May 1st, Illuminati anniversary, Eric Weishaupt. There we go. Bavarian Illuminati on May Day, 1776. And you know, May Day means help. SOS. May Day, the phonetic equivalent to May des, French for help me. May Day, May Day, May Day. What does May Day? Why does May Day mean help? Why do captains say May Day? What is the difference between SOS and May Day? Right? May Day, May Day, May Day is used by pilots when an accident is taking place on an aircraft, that's a ship or a plane. So May Day is a public holiday in some regions, usually celebrated on May 1st, first Monday. International Workers' Day. May Day history meaning, German Labor Day. Michael told me it was the Communist Party's anniversary, and I had heard that too. But that's okay. It didn't come up immediately. So we'll let that go. Let that go. So the 2022 Invictus Games will be held April 16th through the 22nd, the IAM that we showed you in the previous video. And that does cover April 17th, which is a tremendously big day. Now, on April 17th, and I told him when my dad committed suicide and I came home, I missed the, what they call Yeehaw Junction. I was on the phone with people. I was very confused. I was on the phone and I just missed my exit on the turnpike. So I had to come home and take the 417. I had to come home by way of the 417. Now, you take us to April 17th this year, which is Easter. And Michael says that bounces off of a tremendously big day from the solar eclipse. I forget if it's, an eclipse. I'm sorry, an eclipse. He's going to give it to us. But I turned 22200 days old on that day. So, you know, let's keep our eyes peeled for April 17th. Like I said, I had to take the 417 and I never forgot that. Y'all know I don't forget numbers when they, for some reason, if it means something, the Lord just keeps it in my head for forever. So the 222 Invictus Games will be held in that realm, in that span of time. Invictus by William Ernest Henley, Poetry Foundation. The poem invokes the pit, opposes the word of God. It matters not how straight the gate in the poem, it says. That's straight out of the Matthew 7:13 and 14. And credits oneself of being the captain of my soul. And Michael said, nope. So he did give us the link for that. Poetry Foundation. And from my unconquerable soul. And they, their whole world is unconquered, Matters not how straight the gate, it's the bottom verse. How charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. They love the I am. And this poem is called Invictus. So what they're saying is, I am not controlled by God. You see, you tell people the truth in God's word, and Christians in word only will reject it. They believe in their free will because that feeds their pride, their ego. I chose God. Because it clearly states it's not of your works, lest you boast of anything you did for your salvation. And so, and God, of course, called himself I am. And Jesus, of course, also said, I am. And that's when they picked up the stones to stone him, because he was saying, I am God. They knew exactly what he was saying. That's why they wanted to pick up stones when he said that. So that's what's taking place. So we really, really, really have to look out for what's coming. So the first part, the most famous part of Sprach Zarathustra, is called Sunrise in English. That big old long word right there. I didn't blow these up in the font because Mike's got so much prep. He's been doing so much work. And I don't have a lot of time to get you guys prepared. So I'm sorry, that's on me. The Sunafong comes to 138. Now, that's tremendous coding. The 138 coding. And I don't know why in simple gematria, Donald Trump comes to 138 in simple gematria. But over here, it matches Donald J. Drumpf in 3 base ciphers and in Chaldean. So the first part of the Sprach, and just to recap what that song was, this was all based off 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's called also Sprach. That's the name of it, also. Now, I don't know if Michael included the name also. Oh, maybe he does in another one. But what is also Sprach? Yeah, this is just Sprach without the. Okay. So I wonder what maybe Michael didn't know that the is part of it, because we might even get more stuff on that. So, but that's not what he's doing here. Again, this is the first part of the most famous part of also Sprach Zarathustra is called Sonafgang. Sonafgang, sunrise in English. So it goes back to sun god. And that comes to 138 in a cipher, which matches Donald J. Drumpf in 3 base ciphers and in Chaldean. Donald Trump in 2 ciphers, and that's the one we found. Trump assassinated in full reduction. October 2nd in 3 ciphers. IPEC Goat 2, 666, Blue Devils, reverse red. Also remember that Blue Devils comes to 666 in English, and they are playing the Final Four at Caesars Superdome on 4/2. Yeah, wow. I go to a funeral, which was an appointed time that the Lord made, you know, on a very specific moment that I would be attending a funeral on April Fool's Day. So this is big time stuff here. So coming up, I mean, April 1st, April 2nd. The official theme song for WrestleMania 38 will be Sacrifice by The Weeknd. The Weeknd. They don't have the E. It's WEEKND, not END. Sacrifice comes to June 14th. Assassinate, Michigan, which is where he'll be on the 2nd, while WrestleMania 38 is taking place. He'll be in Washington, Michigan. Detroit's about 35 miles from this Washington, Michigan area. Comes to Phoenix, comes to March Madness, comes to Brock Lesnar, who will be fighting in it, in the WrestleMania. Comes to Biff Tannen, Marty McFly, and 666. That's just fascinating. That means we're about to go 88 miles an hour. And again, we've been having so many matchups. Hey, at 6:14 p.m. Woo, Mayday, Mayday, because 51 came up with it. Did y'all see that? We could finally be there, y'all. We could because remember, the Baron Semiday or Baron Saturday, at the very, very middle of IPEC Goat, there's a daisy. And daisy is a flower for the month of April. So that's big time stuff. We are right now in on some big time stuff right now. Not that we haven't been before, but it just seems to keep building. Dylan Storm Roof, the HOAXSHOOTER at the FAKE church in Charleston, South Carolina. So there was a, what we would perceive to be a false flag event take place. He was born on 4/3/1994. Dylan Storm Roof. The storm blew the roof off. Comes to Donald Trump Antichrist, June 14th. Dark Knight Rises, 1988, Society of Jesus, the B666, Third World War. Absolutely fascinating. And by the way, I'll do a video on my prep tomorrow. I got a lot of stuff to show y'all from basically the Oscars. Yeah. It appears there's some stuff I still need to email, some other photos, and I will get to that. Roman Reigns will be fighting Brock Lesnar at this WrestleMania 38. Roman Reigns comes to April 3rd in 2 ciphers. And that's when he'll be fighting Brock Lesnar. Gaius Julius Caesar, the full name, also Little Horn, also the Phoenix, also 45th, because, Trump is 45th president. Valentine's Day is the 45th day of the year. Louis LeBrave, the guy that made IPEC Goat 2, allegedly, well, the front man for it, obviously the AI did it. Comes to assassination, comes to the Donald, comes to Roman Emperor. And again, the final four will be at Caesar's Superdome. And Peyton Manning's been doing those commercials. Peyton Manning commercial, we are all Caesars. And it's the Mannings are all Caesars. Caesar Sportsbook 2022 Super Bowl commercial. And that's where he says it. Manning family, one of the most illuminated evil families in all of the entertainment world. And I mean, in all. He's Archie for the Archway, the Gateway Arch. They have a quarterback, and it's the most sought after quarterback in all of high school football. His name is Arch Manning. Hey, let me see here. Also, Sprach. Now, Michael might have gematria also, the full name of also Sprach Zarathustra, and he just might not have found anything. That might be why he didn't give us the, why he did not give a, searching the full name, having the word also in it. But here's just Sprach Zarathustra, which also Sprach Zarathustra was the exact title of the theme song of 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is played at South Carolina as part of their fight song, entrance, whatever you want to call it. The Gamecocks, the Rooster, the Phoenix symbology. But so it was composed by Richard Strauss and first performed on 11/27/1896. Sprach Zarathustra comes to Trump assassinated, Beast out of the Sea, the Book of Revelation, 9/11 Part 2, Wall Street Collapse, Dark Knight Rises, The Beast, 666, Third World War, and Dylan Storm Roof, who we just looked at. That's just fascinating that he came up. You know, it's just the way all this ties together is just mind-blowing. Solar eclipse of June 21st, 2020. That was not a total, it was an annular. Including both dates, the solar eclipse of 6/21/2020 to this upcoming pagan Easter 4/17/2022 is 666 days. Now I'm going to build a spreadsheet on all of this. And now day 95, because that 95 is coded into myself and second wife's combined number times the year 2022. Remember, we have that mathematical anomaly where we have 626, 126 for about 12 years running, and then it morphs into 627, 127 for, X number of years. And then starting next year, it morphs to 628, 128. And it always sits in the exact middle. If there happens to be a year where it's a little heavier on one side, it'll only be by one digit, and it will be in the middle as much as possible. It's just a freakish thing, but it lets us know how important numbers are to the Lord. Everything is at an appointed time, an appointed moment. And we have a 2001 built into the year this year of our combined number, along with 12-7, or Tower 1, Tower 2, Tower 7, which all fell in 2001. If it's day 95, that will be April 5th, which will be a big day that I'll be looking at. And then it's followed by 216, which will be happening the following year, the 666. 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. So, yeah. Anyway, I will build a spreadsheet looking at dates. Since Michael's given us the formula, then all I need to do is start looking at 2020 eclipses, and I already have there's your 2020 solar, 2020 lunar. I already have the 2021 solar, 2021 lunar, 2022, which you can really only go up 222 days. Anything more would put us outside the realm of the Bible, I believe. I think Trump goes down this year and the abomination is next year. And then Jesus puts a stop to the great trib. I think on the third day. It's not when he returns, where it says no man know the hour of the day. But putting a stop to the great trib, totally different. And so we'll be looking at all of these scenarios there. Yeah. Total lunar eclipse, total lunar eclipse. So this year we have 2 total lunar eclipse. And that's on May 16th, 2 days after the Israel anniversary of May 14th, and November 8th, which is 11 times 8 is 88. Today is the 88th day of the year, by the way. And if you go up a month to the full moon or back a month on October 9th, it is a blood moon. Not an eclipse, but a blood full moon. Blood full moon, October 9th, 2022. Blood moon, October 9th, 2022. At 4:55 p.m. And if you remember, 455 is what? Second wife, I'm highlighting it over here, and myself come to 455-000-6328. And yesterday was 328. Yay. So there has been a 27 in our combined number with the year, starting the year we met. There's been a 27. It was not part of the middle rotations because that was 626, 126, but there was a 27 and a 127 before the 126, before it evolved to 627, 127, 627, 127. 91227. Then the year we got engaged, 9127. Then the year we got married, 627. And then the year we separated, 127. In the year we were divorced, 627. Then 127, 627, 127. It's just insane. From the lunar eclipse to the full buck moon of 7/4/2020 to 5/1/2022 is 666 days. So 7/4/2020. Then it was 7/5/2020. That full buck moon, 7/5/2020. So let's say 7/5/2020. And he said that was going over to May 1st. Let's get rid of this Invictus poem. Let's get rid of that one. Let's get rid of that one. Let's get rid of that one. Now, in certain parts of the world, it might have been on the 4th, but I've got this set up for it's not showing. I'm not keyed into like where I'm from on this. So then it's going to give the date of where it was. Yeah, anyway, I keyed in North America. All right, so we're back on. So July 5th, 2020. Then he was saying to May Day. It's 665 days. But include both in your calculation, and then you get 666 days. And I've seen them do it both ways. On some things, they've timed things out to where you include both dates, so on and so forth. So it's a match. Exactly what Michael said. That's fascinating, Michael. Fascinating stuff. From June 5th, 2020, lunar eclipse until 4/2. June 5th, 2020. These were penumbral. There were 4 of them that year, remember? Now you're adding 666 days. So what do we say? June 5th, I'm going to not include it, to 4/2. It's 666 days, not including it. Okay, not including the end date. We're always going to have to be very flexible with including or not including the end date, because they are. That's fascinating. Now, that is the day, that is Saturday when he is speaking, this coming Saturday. And it's the WrestleMania night with Brock Lesnar fighting that Roman whatever guy. And Michael went ahead and gave us the eclipses and so forth. So what else did he give us here? He said in 2020, he had 6 eclipses, 2 solar, 4 lunar before the pandemic. And or excuse me, the year. Hold on. I got ahead of myself. I read the bottom without reading the whole sentence. 6, there's 2 solar, 4 lunar. We just showed you all 4 lunars were penumbral. In other words, it's kind of a partial, but they still call it an eclipse. On your solars, you had an annular on the 21st, which is the first day of summer, I think. Yeah, the summer solstice. And on December 14th. Now, 7 days later, you had the Great Conjunction. but that's when the first person got poked. That lady who flashed the divine feminine hand signal. Difference between annular and total solar eclipse. Solar eclipse may be classified as either total, in which the moon completely covers the sun, or annual, in which the moon obscures all but the outer ring of the sun. Ooh. That creates a corona. Yeah. Okay. The corona is the outer ring of an annular solar eclipse. The corona is the outermost part of the sun's atmosphere. The corona is usually hidden by the bright light of the sun's surface. That makes it difficult to see. What is corona in solar eclipse? Two views of the sun's corona. During an eclipse, top and the ultraviolet light bottom, the corona is the outer atmosphere of the sun. It extends many thousands of kilometers above the visible surface of the sun, gradually transforming into the solar wind that flows. And y'all do know that the sun is right above us, right? Rare ring of fire eclipse expected on Sundays. Annular solar eclipse. The annular solar eclipse. Anyway, I don't know. I was just trying to figure out where I was right and where I was wrong and what I told y'all. So let's keep going. So the first eclipse was a lunar eclipse and occurred on January 10/11/2020. The first eclipse was a lunar eclipse and occurred on January 10/11, 2020. Okay, so it kind of covered both days. I'm not including that one in the timeline because it occurred BP before the illness. Well, I think we've gone past that time anyway, haven't we? January 10th, 2020. That's transfer portal date. Even though the actual transfer portal of time is January 10th, 2022. But if we were to add biggest number we can get, 999, to it, October 5th, 2022. Ooh, doggies. 666. I'm sorry, 888. I think we should include it. What do y'all think? Heck yeah. It's June 16th, man. That's 2 days after Trumpian's birthday on the super full moon. If you include it, takes you to June 15th, Batman Begins. Batman Begins was released the day after Trump's birthday. Yeah, that's 888 days. You know, there's a super full moon at that time. So if these eclipses are hitting on full moon's always 24 hours before, 24 hours after. It's exactly full. If we were to look, hang on just a quick. If it hits in the evening time. So the strawberry moon on It hits full at 7:52 a.m. So it'll be a little closer, a little stronger on the 13th than it would the 14th. But the 15th, when you see it rise the next evening, it's still going to be gigantically full. June's full moon also coincides with a supermoon. The moon will be at its closest points to the Earth all year. Now that's at night, 7:21 p.m. Eastern, which means in some parts of the world, you are already on the 15th. So that's a big connection. Anytime you're hitting an eclipse with a supermoon or a full moon, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Hang on a second. All right, let's continue, please. June 21st, 2020, solar eclipse. And again, y'all, I'm gonna be, if I were to work out a spreadsheet, I know me, man. I get into stuff like this. I'm gonna over the top it. I'm gonna hit every one of these eclipses and make a spreadsheet of 111 days, 222 days, 333 days, 444 days. And I think it all matters because we've already established, Michael's established links of 222, 666, and 888. Well, don't forget Trump's 777 of Donald Trump's inauguration. January 20th, 2017. January 20th, 2017. 70 years, 7 months, and 6 days. Oh, and there's your 222 coding with the seconds. 88 with the days. But if you include both dates, then you get 70 years, 7 months, 7 days. What people did was I would hear them bend it. They would go, well, the day after the inauguration, his first full day in office, he was 70 years, 7 months, 7 days. Well, you don't have to do that. You just include the day he was born, which is a day he was alive, along with the day he was. So include both dates. In other words, they play with it, you can play with it. You can include it or not include it, just depends. June 21st, 2020, solar eclipse, 666 days later is Easter, 417, if you include both days in the parentheses. Good job. So see, you could do that. And on July 4th, 2020, lunar eclipse and full buck moon, 666 days later is May Day. And I think we looked at that already because it was July 5th, but we ended up including the end date or the beginning date, whatever. We included both dates and it hit. November 29th, 2020, lunar eclipse, 666 days later is 9/26/2022. Hey, my grandson will turn 10. He's got the 808 in his number. 470808. December 14th, 2020, solar eclipse, 666 days later is October 11th. And we love that because 2 days before it is a blood moon. So what if Trump went down on the full blood moon and rose on the third day, 666? He would not appear to the world then. He would go in hiding and be performing on World War III. He would go into perdition. He would rise spiritually from the bottomless pit. Anywho, this is good stuff. There was a well-known wrestler at the WWF named Kamala. His real name was James Arthur Harris. So essentially, his name was Kamala Harris. What are the chances that the wrestler named Kamala with the last name Harris died on 8/9/2020? And Biden chose a woman named Kamala Harris to be his vice presidential running mate 2 days later on 8/11 for 88 coding. Now, I tell you, I like that whole 8/9 thing. 89 has a lot to do with Trump. So does 888, which is all coding for, well, I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, let's just keep going. Biden picks Kamala Harris, Politico, so he's verifying that date. We trust him, believe him. For the third week in a row, Trump will be having a rally 4/9 in Selma, North Carolina. Selma, North Carolina, Wikipedia. Saw something there I really liked. Selma, North Carolina, area code 919-984. Like it. Selma, North Carolina, zip codes
27,576.
Child, please. I ain't gonna get into that either. I'll share it with Michael. I don't want to confuse y'all. I get new people all the time, and a lot of y'all have backdrops to stuff, personal life stuff that I showed you is just crazy. I mean, I can always show you that one, and that establishes plenty. But Michael just remind me to share it with you, sir. And I will. On May 15th, 2018, over a year earlier than Event 201, the same cast of characters, Johns Hopkins, Center for Health Security, and other nefarious SCUM conducted a illness tabletop exercise to drill for the VIRALPANDEMIC and its consequences. How omnipotent, how come I can't say the word? You know how God is omnipotent, omniscient, omniscient. Yeah, let's do this.
Omniscient.
Omniscient. Omniscient.
Omniscient.
That's what I said. No, you didn't. Yeah, I did. No, you didn't. How omniscient of them. From the date of it was called Claude X exercise. What'd that come to in gematria? 5/15/2018 to 3/11/2020, the date the WHO declared the CV to be a illness, globalist. It's exactly 666 days. There are no coincidences, Michael said. Nice job, Michael. Michael's research is just like, it's mind-blowing. So good. So good, so good. From the day that Trump made his calm before the storm statement on 10/5/2017 to the day that the WHO declared the CV to be a PANDEMIC on 3/11/2020 is exactly 888 days. There are no coincidences. Nice job, Michael. Okay, so 9/11/2001 to 3/11/2020 is 222 months exactly, to the exact. Anyone thinks that they are going to change anything that these Luciferian pigs do is sadly mistaken. And I will remind y'all, as I did Michael today, that this is God's plan down to the exact second. He has even numbered the hairs on your head. The Antichrist job is only necessary for the sheep. Mystery Babylon's job is only necessary for the sheep. Everything on this earth is about the sheep. We are born lost. We have to go through much tribulation to enter the kingdom. It says in Acts 14:22, which is my phone number, 14:22. That would be the home phone number. For y'all that have my cell and go, no, it's not. Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? So yeah. It's just fascinating. Fascinating. Anyway, yes. So it's about the church getting their robes cleansed in white, going through the Great Tribulation. I tell people 1% of the church is called right now. See, all their numbers are byproducts of our numbers. I suspect 1/3, 33% of the church will get the call during and through the 4 horses of the apocalypse. 66% will get the call at the abomination of desolation. That is just a personal theory of mine, because everything they do is a copycat of our world. Think of the word communes. What is a commune? A group of people living together and sharing possessions and responsibilities. Well, you would call these people hippies. It's behind the communist philosophy, where and the key buzzwords of the divine feminine are community and collaboration. Well, what do? What does the church do? We commune together and collaborate. Well, if you read Acts, they sold their possessions, everything they owned, and brought the money to the church and then lived with the church. They lived as a commune. Period. Definitions in Christian. Doesn't seem to be much. Yeah, and the one man and his wife sold their land, but kept some of the money back, but presented their money to the apostles as all of the money that they sold. The husband dropped dead. The wife wasn't there. They just saw him being carried off. They went up and asked her, was that all of the money? Now, they didn't have to give all, but they said that it was all. They lied. And then she died, dropped right dead right there. They were living in the church, the apostles in the original church, right there in the beginning of Acts of the Apostles. They were a commune. Everything in their world is a copycat of our world first. Our world first. Everything. Transit eclipses. 11/15, 1999, 666 days before 9/11. Transit eclipse, 222 months from 9/11 to 3/11. October 5th, 2017 to 3/11 is 888 days. Event 201. Oh, this was this is the last Michael prep. This is me emailing me. Michael was telling me this on the phone. Okay, we already covered this. Yeah. The transit eclipse that Michael's talking about there. Yeah, I think he's going to send us an email on it. Transit eclipse 11/15/1999. A transit eclipse is when another planet is eclipsing another planet, I think. Definition of transit eclipse. I had never heard of it before, but Michael told me about it today. Like an eclipse, a transit occurs when one object appears to pass in front of another object. So it's one planet. Eclipses and transits, nasa.gov. God, is there anything worse than NASA? Yes, a fake church. Eclipses and transits. They don't seem to put the word transit with eclipse. Let me see. What's the difference between transit and eclipse? What is transit? A transit is a solar transit. A solar eclipse is also a solar transit of the moon. Okay. Well, certain. So there was some sort of transit of, I think he said Mercury and something. On 11/15/1999, which was 666 days before 9/11. Transit eclipse. I think he meant before the 9/11 disaster, there was a transit eclipse. I'm not sure. Yeah, because that's my typing. This is me just listening to him on the phone. So that's my snafu. So 11/15/1999, 666 days before that, there was a transit type of eclipse. I think Mercury was involved. That's it for Michael's prep. I'm sure much more will come. Tomorrow, I will give you a lot of my stuff from the Oscars that I just picked up on, trivial stuff, interesting stuff. You'll have to tell me what you think. A lot of it I loaded on my Telling Truth 3 channel, 5, 10 clips. Looks like all of them are less than 2 minutes. Yay. It's always nice when I can do that for y'all. Not like this one here today, boy. 7 o'clock. I don't know when I started. All right. Love y'all very much. Michael, outstanding stuff, my friend. And just to give y'all a sneak peek, I guess, I'll save that there. Y'all see Will Smith grinning and Chris Rock laughing. One friend on Facebook said Will Smith hit his chest where he was wearing a little mic and it made the thud, or Chris Rock's mic picked up on him hitting his chest at the moment of the slap or fake slap. And it's all, even now, there was one UFC person that said that was scripted, that was fake. So good for them. At least the UFC, they do have some people that say that was fake. And they even called out one of their own fights as being fake. It was like, that was fake. Because we've picked up on some certain fights being completely fake. Justin and I have. So anyway, love y'all very much. Michael, great stuff, man.